adventure into the Filmverse, a movie fan podcast where we dive into the vast expanses of cinema and report our findings. I'm Mytchel Chandler.
And I'm Bryce Payne.
And today on the 13th episode of Into the Filmverse, we'll be discussing the 2014 Best Picture winner 12 Years a Slave, 2013 Best Picture Oscar-nominated film Whiplash, and various content we watched throughout the week. Be sure to join us on Letterboxd, the social network for film lovers. You can find Bryce Payne at
Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews.
And me, Mytchel Chandler, at Mytch Reviews. And you can spell Mytch with Mytch. Before we dive into our weekly movie watches, we're going to go off the top with some recent movie news. As we do every week, we're going to start the show off with talking about the most recent episode of The Mandalorian on Disney+. So if you do not want any Mandalorian spoilers for Season 2, Episode 6, please skip ahead 5 minutes. And as we talk about that, starting...
Sorry, I didn't have my timer set up. I was
distracted. Starting now. All right, Bryce. Grogu got yeeted, and Boba Fett's back, and I'm just listing all the spoilers.
Dude, can you believe that like he put him on that rock and tried to get him off that rock like 3 fucking times?
Oh my god, dude! Okay, he was so out of character for this episode. I mean, just him trying to keep going back.
He's not this stupid, and he's
no, right.
No, come on, man, we got to go. Boom! Oh shit, I'm knocked unconscious for 20 minutes.
Two things about that. One, why did he try to go back like 3 times when he couldn't figure it out the first 2 times? He's not that dumb. And second of all, why would he say "let's go" with Grogu when he was there to wait for a ship to show up?
Yeah, he's like, oh shit, that ship don't look right. We're not gonna stay here for that.
So obviously, the last episode left it off with they got done talking to Ahsoka and they told Mando to bring Grogu or Baby Yoda to this rock on this certain planet, and he set him there, and he should call somebody and wait for somebody to come. So they go to the planet. He sits the dude on the rock.
He sits on the rock for 5 seconds, and then he's like, "Nah, man, we gotta leave."
Yeah. Well, he sits on the rock, and then it wasn't working at first, and he's like, "Do something," and then it wasn't working, and then it does work, and then the ship shows up, and then as soon as the ship shows up, then Mando's like, "We gotta go, dude." Like, wait.
I did like seeing Fennec come back. I forget the actress's name. I know she was in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. It's escaping me right now.
The chick, it's
Mulan.
Ming-Na Wen.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I was like, I know she plays Mulan. Like, I know her. I don't remember her name right now. But, like, the star of this episode, Tamora Morrison, holy fuck.
Boba Fett, right?
Yeah, dude, that shit was... Oh, fuck. Dude,
yeah,
when he showed up, he's like, yeah, I just want my armor. And the man was like, fuck you! No! And he's like... I don't even give a fuck about this kid, dude. Like, he's like, the kid! It's like, I don't give a fuck about the kid. I'll kill the kid. Just give me my fucking armor.
Just give me my armor. I don't, yeah, exactly.
He's like, we'll leave. Like, we don't want much. And Mando's like, no, bro, you're not a Mandalorian. He's like, I don't think it's mine!
I don't care, I'm not a Mandalorian, it's my armor.
I did like during the fight, though, because, like, there's some pretty badass scenes, how he just looks over the Razor Crest, which is never locked.
Right.
He never closes. He just, like, gets out of the ship, and he's like, that should be good.
Later, he just walks away. He just leaves it open.
And he's like, well, shit, there it is. I'm going to go get that. And then, like, when he pops up on the screen, dude, I was hyped.
Dad bod Boba Fett.
That stormtrooper's, like, looking up. He's like, oh, God, my head. It looks up, and, like, he's sitting there. He's like,
dude,
bitch slap.
the helmets, like the cracking in this episode, like, the stormtrooper helmets, just, like, the way they break.
Yeah, dude, you never see that shit.
No.
Like,
usually it's just like one shot to the chest or one shot to the face.
Like, oh, they're dead. This one, he's sitting with the gaffy stick, and he's just, like, swings, hits him in the helmet, and their fucking helmets break, and you see the shards, and I was like... This is fucking brutal.
It was brutal. It was actually weird to see Ming-Na Wen back because she like, died. Yeah, it was cool. I like her character. It wasn't too much of a big deal.
Yeah, no, she didn't take anything away from the episode, but I don't feel like she added anything to the episode either. But it's whatever.
Yeah, and along with Mando being weird on the top, he was also weird just from the start of the episode. But he's like, here, take it, the little ball.
Like, dude, he's like, yeah. No, I'm not mad. I'm proud of you. Good job, buddy.
Right, exactly. With a little ball.
It's almost like sometimes he treats Grogu like a fucking baby, like a dog. Like he's like a pet. He's like, good boy.
He's like, oh, I'm so proud of you.
But no, dude, like, Boba, like, came back with some force, man. He's like, all you people like me for 40 years for not doing shit. Here I am. And then everybody online's like, but he's fat. And it's like, fuck off!
Yeah, exactly. He showed up Mando in like 3 minutes. Like, he did more than Mando did.
You think Mando can take out a squad? Can you imagine in the first season if Boba was where Mando was, like, on that planet during the go the boat, all the bounty hunters, like, hunting him down? Right? Boba Fett would have been like, all right, bitch, let's go.
No, he turns around and lays out, like, a whole bunch of people with his pistol.
He lays 2 squadrons of fucking stormtroopers out by himself.
His armor. Yeah, one without his armor.
Like, as soon as he puts his armor back on, he's like, all right. And then he's still, like, when Grogu gets yeeted, he's like, I'll help you get the kid.
Right, exactly. And then, so, that's another thing that's cool is that Boba's going to keep coming back. At least in the next episode, we know he's going to be back.
Yeah, I'm so excited. And then there's that,
Okay.
There's that great ending scene with Grogu force choking.
Oh yeah, except he's like, and Moff Gideon shows up. He's like, "Don't test me, bitch."
Grogu's like,
he's like, "I'm tired, man, dude. This is too much.
I just killed like 2 people. Like, I'm chill."
I like Moff Gideon walks in to see Baby Yoda using the Force, and he's just like,
Stormtrooper's like, "We gotta do something." He's like, "No, let him go. Let him
murder them. Yes, let him come to the dark side."
But no, dude, like, fucking Boba, man. I'm so excited to see more of him.
Me too. Do you think? So obviously, the Jedi hasn't shown up that we're waiting for. A lot of speculation who it might be, but
it's gonna be Ahsoka.
What again? Oh my gosh! She's like, actually, I changed my mind.
Actually, I'm the one that heard the call. My bad.
Oh my god! She's like, taking it. Oh, I heard his call. I came. Oh wait, it's just like, no, that's not what we wanted. You told us. Wait, we wasted our time then. But do you think we're gonna see him come back in this next episode? Baby Yoda, are you gonna rescue him?
No.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you guys as we talked Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 6 spoilers. We will be back next Friday.
We have 2 episodes left.
Yep, 2 episodes left of The Mandalorian.
Next Friday is going to be the season finale.
Yep, exactly. And obviously, I'll give you guys a week for today to watch Episode 7. Well, we appreciate you guys. So, next up in the world of movie news, Wonder Woman 1984 reviews are here. They've shown it to some critics and are actually relatively positive.
I don't know how to feel about this because I'll be the first one to say I didn't like Wonder Woman. So I'm like, they all had positive reviews too. That don't mean shit to me.
Like I enjoyed it because it was a superhero film.
But I didn't even enjoy it for that.
Really?
No, because so I went with like four coworkers like to see this, and we were all like, "Yeah, superheroes, let's go!"
Sure.
And then we're sitting there watching it. We all left, and we're like, "What the fuck was that?
What was that?" Yeah, it was very.
As long as she doesn't spend the whole movie going, "Ares, I need to find Ares. I need Ares."
Oof. Okay. Yeah. I get that.
But halfway through the first movie, it's like Ares. It's like, yeah, we fucking get it. Okay.
We know who you're looking for. Well, that's the. I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that this is like actually a big tentpole film that's actually relatively good. That's come out since Tenet, or basically since March, really. And Tenet has been kind of meh as far as reviews go. So this
definitely
is the first...
was not the one that they were hoping to refinalize theaters.
It wasn't like that pop that you're looking for.
Christopher Nolan's like, I got this. Don't worry. They're like, we can't just put like Marvel. And Disney's like, no, dude, no, we don't want to be out right now. No. He's like, come on, I'll do it. I'll come out. They're like, I guess.
So it gives us a little something to look forward to here in the next few weeks.
And we'll be able to see it safely from the comfort of our own homes.
Exactly.
Because our theaters are closed.
Are closer for now, exactly. I hope they get to open back up by Christmas, but
yeah, I would love to see this movie in theaters, but at least I'll be able to watch it either way.
Right, exactly, because as if you didn't hear that, Wonder Woman is going to be streaming off HBO Max and going in theaters same day. And this is a move that Warner Brothers had to coordinate with Patty Jenkins and the movie theaters, and they all talked about it and made sure it was an okay thing. However,
but all I can think about now is like Cinemark, like they're like, yeah, so we're going to release it on HBO Max. Cinemark's like, I guess. Do we still get it? They're like, yeah, same day. They're like, okay.
Yeah, movie theaters are like, okay. So, I mean, it was one of those things that was like, okay, with a one-time deal, like, it's right around the COVID thing, and it's a lot of theaters aren't open still or closing back down, so it's like, okay, we get this one. However, this week, Warner Brothers just caused the giant, most craziest shitstorm in Hollywood that it's been around for a while. They said their entire 21 slate of movies are going to go on streaming and in theaters on the same day.
I'm good with this because I'm an introvert, but I know a lot of people aren't.
Okay, so there's a lot of different facets you could take this discussion from, being like whether or not movie theaters should be like a thing in it right now, or the viability of movie theaters. But really what I want to stick to is just the Hollywood reactions to this announcement. The first thing being is that Warner Brothers didn't treat this with the same respect that they did with Wonder Woman 84. With Wonder Woman 84, they talked to a bunch of people and they talked it out and made deals and stuff. This one, they just announced and didn't tell anyone.
They're just like, yeah, fuck you guys, we're doing it anyway. Everyone's like, wait a minute. They're like, no, we have the right.
Yeah, it's really just odd, like almost like just crazy the way it went down. So like that happened. They said that they're gonna be basically putting all their movies on streaming and on home at the same movie theaters at the same time. But this causes a lot of problems within Hollywood because Legendary Pictures is a studio that put up money for a lot of these films that they're going to be putting out, and they're not going to get the box office back that they were expecting. So they're actually suing Warner Brothers for this fact. And not only that, but there's also a sort of thing where actors and directors get percentages off the film based on their box office. So these directors and actors aren't getting the money aren't getting as much money as they were planning.
That's like if Tom Hanks, because he with Forrest Gump, he didn't take a pay thing. He just got a percentage of the movies, and then they're like, "Yeah, we're not going to theaters." Like, wait a fucking minute.
That's like Robert Downey Jr. making his deal with like Marvel. You get like X percent of the movie, and they put it on They put it on streaming, and if they like put it on Disney Plus, and let's just say the theaters at the same time. Well, obviously the theaters are going to make a lot less.
He's like, "Here's your $20 bill."
Basically,
Chris,
exactly
$20 bill.
So, Legendary Pictures is putting together. Was putting together paperwork and is going to be suing Warner Brothers. It looks like for, basically for this move.
How dare you want your movies to be released?
So that's strike one. Obviously, that's not cool. Then Christopher Nolan and other Hollywood sources are outraged by this statement. Christopher Nolan basically came out and said, this is his exact quote from him, some of our industry's biggest filmmakers and most important movie stars went to bed the night before thinking they were working for the greatest movie studio and woke up to find out they were working for the worst streaming service.
Yeah, fuck Christopher Nolan. Honestly, he's not even that great of a director.
Okay, I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Three movies that are like, wow, this is so great, and then he just keeps playing off those success.
I mean, you can debate whether or not he's a good director, whether I think he's a good director, but he's a staple of Hollywood.
But it's like one of those pretentious people that are just like, I'm so important when I say goes kind of thing. Because it's like when Tenet, they were like, oh, we could release it on streaming, and he was like, no, it needs to be in theaters. It is a movie made to be in theaters. It's like, get off your own fucking dick, dude. Like,
well, I mean, it is made to be in theaters, though. But his movies are made to be seen in theaters. Seeing that at home is not the same experience.
No, but it's one of those things where it's like a director just being like, only my movies can only be seen in theaters. Like, you're getting a little like up there for you, aren't you, buddy? Your ego is getting a little inflated.
I mean, you kind of have to have an inflated ego to be a director, regardless. I feel like
most. I would say 90% of directors have an inflated ego, but then you have people like Bong, where they'd be like, "Yeah, you want to go?
Sure.
You want to go streaming?" You're like, "People can see my film? Yeah, sure."
That's fair.
But it's one of those things where like Christopher Nolan always brings out his voice in every fucking thing. It's getting to the point where I just don't care about what he says because it's just like, why are you involved in everything? Like, stop, chill, dude. You make a movie every 4 years.
I think the biggest thing for him is that a lot of his movies are with Universal Pictures. And Warner Brothers and stuff like that.
Warner Brothers.
No, sorry, not Universal, but Warner Brothers.
Because he has a contract with them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
He does something they want him to do, and then he does his own.
It's more of like the fact that, hey, okay, you're right in a sense that, hey, like, if this was a decision they had discussed with him about, but they didn't. It's his projects, his films he made, that he specifically thought they were going to go to a certain way. And if you were, and then basically the studio's like, nah, we're just going to do what we want with them. Well, then, yeah, I would be kind of mad too.
That's how studios work.
No, but it's more of like where the fact is that you are meant to put them on the theaters.
One thing and you're given another.
And the fact that they didn't even consult you on it. Like if you were working with somebody and they didn't consult you, and not even just Christopher Nolan, but it's just like any directors or any studios,
just want
any
people
theaters.
To watch their stuff though, right? Like they'd be like, at least my stuff, like people are going to be able to enjoy what I made.
It's not show friends, it's show biz. You still got to make money, dude.
You act like Christopher Nolan's not going to make money.
But I'm not talking about Christopher Nolan specifically. I'm talking about the whole of Hollywood that is being thrown under this bus because of these films. More going into like the Directors Guild, who basically said that they were thinking about boycotting Warner Brothers. And the Directors Guild includes a lot of high profile directors and actors, not just directors, because of this move. Basically, they said this is a report from the New York Times. The surprise move left agencies on a war footing. Representatives from major Warner Brothers stars like Denzel Washington, Margot Robbie, Will Smith, Keanu Reeves, Hugh Jackman, and Angelina Jolie wanted to know why their clients had been treated in a lesser manner than Miss Godot. Like I said, with Wonder Woman 1984, where they actually consulted them and talked to them about what they should do with the movie, and if it's okay to put it on streaming and in theaters at the same time. Talk of a Warner Brothers boycott began circulating inside the Directors Guild of America. A partner at one talent agency spent part of the weekend meeting with litigators. Some people started to angrily refer to the studio as former brothers, which I'm sure that people are just angry.
It's really starting to make me not like celebrities at all, because it's just like, it's one of those things where I get it, but like, These are weird circumstances.
I don't know. To me, it's like they're messing with their jobs because it's like they're taking what they could. Okay, because if you think about it, like they're not going to make as much money as like what they could have done from some of these films.
No, but my thing is like the representatives being like, why are they not being treated the same? It's like,
well, they're not.
Not every person like.
Because
every single celebrity thinks they're the best celebrity, though.
No, it's the same thing with what happened to Trolls with Trolls World Tour. That was Warner Brothers too, right? Or was it Universal? It was. I don't know, but it was Universal. But the same situation that applies is that you consult the people you work with. You talk with them. Hey, this is what we're doing around. You tell people things before, even if you make the decision, you're still doing it. You should still have the respect for your peers to be able to tell them that this is what I'm going to do. Instead, they all found it the same we all did.
It just sounds like Hollywood shit to me. I don't know. It's like this doesn't sound out of place.
I don't know. I just feel like it's just like
it's a pretty fucked up move. Don't get me wrong. Like to be like, oh yeah, fuck you. You're not.
However, the reason I bring all this up is because I see more of Warner. I saw the downward spiral of movie theaters, and I'm a big movie theater fan. I enjoy most of my cinema in the theater. The home experience. I know Bryce is a little bit different from me on this.
I like being home.
Yeah, exactly. I can watch movies at home and it's cool, and I have a nice setup and I have nice stuff. But at the same time, there is nothing that beats being inside a theater for me. And I'll see more movies at the theater than I would at home. And with this whole talk about all these movies starting to go to streaming and refocusing,
it sounds like the death of theaters.
It does. It really does, and it really is too. However, it seems like there's a little bit of pushback, and that gets me at least there's a little bit of glimmer of hope for me, and that's what reason I wanted to.
I don't see theaters going anywhere. I think it's just a survival tactic for now, but I also just like.
I agree.
I feel like they're kind of like overreacting to the whole thing. Like they're like 2021 slate because COVID's fucked everything up. We have a lot of movies on our slate. We gotta push things out. We gotta get things out there. Because we have this whole backlog of a year worth of shit that we need to push, and everyone's like. What do you mean? Like, what the fuck? And they're like, dude, we have so much shit coming up. Like, we have to get pushing shit out there. They're like, what? I don't get told? What? It's like, motherfucker, we have a whole year's worth of shit plus another year's worth of shit coming out in the same year.
We gotta
chill, bro.
We gotta do stuff, dude. I mean, in that sense, you are right. And I do agree that, like, things have to change, at least, and be different for this next year. And maybe even a little bit into the further year. But my main point is that I can see how some of these guys might be like, hey, what the hell is going on? And there's a lot of logistics they have to figure out, which is understandable.
It honestly just feels like Warner Brothers trying to not do what Marvel's doing, where they're pushing all their shit but still announcing things for 5 years down the line.
They're trying something new, and people aren't liking it.
Let's just get it out there. Things starting to move, and everyone's like, "What do you mean you're not going to talk to me?" It's like we're trying to get this done.
The issue is a lot of people don't think, and a lot of directors and just movie people that review news and stuff like that don't think that this is just going to be a 1 year thing. They think that Warner Brothers is playing the game where they're saying it's a 1 year thing, because that's also what Warner Brothers had said. Is it going to HBO Max on streaming and as in theaters?
It was a complete success, so we're going to keep doing it.
Exactly, and at that point, what can the theaters do about it? They're going to say they can either age and boycott Warner Brothers films, but that loses them money. So it really puts us in a predicament, and hopefully this just pans out that this really is just a simple one-time solution.
I think once COVID stops being such a big thing, it will be, because I can see them making money on streaming, but not HBO Max. Because you got to think, you pay $50 a month for HBO Max. Mm-hmm. If they drop every single movie out the year, you're making your money back because you can watch the same fucking movie 3 times free or whatever. At home.
Us as a consumer?
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
so
you're right.
They're not going to make as much money, so it makes more sense in my mind that they would do it, try to get through COVID, and then as soon as COVID's done, be like, no, fuck you guys, go to the theaters, give us money.
You know what's weird about this theatrical model that I'm saying the same day and in theaters is actually they are doing it. It's weird. So it'll be on HBO Max for a month, and then it'll leave.
Oh, fucking, that doesn't matter to me then.
But
that's just them playing the game of they pay $15 a month for one movie coming out, like Wonder Woman.
Yeah, it'll leave, and then it'll come back later.
And then another month they send out another new movie.
Right.
So another person pays another $15 a month.
Otherwise, you need to keep HBO Max to keep it
to be able to watch all the movies. That's what they're doing. They're fucking getting cash grab off this shit.
I know, that's what I'm saying. So that's why people don't think it's going to be an actual... They don't. They think they have they're trying to grow their subscriber base and all that. They have less than Disney. I know that. I know. And Disney,
HBO Max is too expensive for the common people to be like, yeah.
Disney acquires all the family base and all that. But
so $180 for a year worth subscription of HBO Max. You do it $115 a month.
Right.
I know there's deals where you get the whole year for
right, but you see the month one.
But let's see it's a month because people will not look deep into the whole thought process, being like, oh, well, Dune comes out in October, whatever. And then it's like $180 for one account. If they do this for every single person on HBO Max.
So they have a total of 38 million subscribers.
Okay, so 38.
At least right now.
That is
$6.8 billion.
They're playing the game, bro.
Wait, 6.8 billion or million? Sorry.
Billion.
That's billion. So 6.8
that's right
billion.
now, and with them doing the new movie release, that subscriber number is only going to go up.
You're right. So but
it's like it's going to be like
okay,
Disney
but you also
Plus,
have to
where...
say have to realize that when you think about that number, you have to think about how much it costs to actually run the site. You have to think about how much these movies actually cost, and once you add all that together,
Warner Brothers, they don't have to pay for rights, but I know they have movies they have rights coming out of.
No, but I'm saying you have not rights wise, but I'm saying how much it costs to actually run the streaming service, because it actually costs quite a bit to run these streaming services.
True, but it's not, I feel like Disney has the whole streaming thing keyed, because they own everything they put on there. They're like, right, yeah, we can leave it on there, whatever, fuck it. But normal streaming services like Netflix have to license things. But I don't know, man. I think this could go either way.
It really could. And
it works out for me. I don't whatever. But...
exactly. No, that's a lot of people's things. Is whatever. But I just, for me, it's it just feels like a hot topic for me. Only because I really enjoy the movie theater experience.
I love movie theaters. I just with them being shut down right now. I'm like, yeah, at least I'll be able to see it.
That is.
I'd rather I want to rather see them in theaters over being at home. But as long as I can watch them, whatever.
That is a good point. Good point.
Because the theater experience, can you imagine watching Endgame at home by yourself?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Is you can't there's certain films you need to watch in the theater.
Yeah, there's the
Tenet, nah.
Tenet, I could have watched at home. I would have been fine.
Well, because I didn't need to watch that. I didn't need to watch that at all. Really, to be honest with you.
Inception though, when we watched that with the D-Box,
Inception needs to be in theaters.
That was good.
That's why I think he's right in some regards. Tenet is whatever because it wasn't even that great in the first place. We're
Dunkirk, which I didn't like, and I know you didn't like.
I didn't like that much
either.
either.
So
but
that's why it's in my mind, I'm like, eh.
But I will say to the fact that with Dunkirk, even though that I didn't like it that much, it was better in the theater than I know it would have been at home.
I would never have seen that movie in theaters. I couldn't even.
Did you watch it at home?
Yeah, I barely forced myself to watch it at home.
It was really visually appealing, and it was. Wait, Dunkirk. Never mind. I was thinking of 1917.
Oh, Dunkirk.
Hold on. Yeah, no, Dunkirk's not good.
That was not a good movie. I know it has its fans. For everyone who's like, Dunkirk's really good. I know where you're coming from. I've seen the reviews. It was not for me. I was very bored. I was tired
of seeing the same scene over and over again. But.
Oh look, sand landing on his head.
Oh look, boats. More planes.
Oh look, planes. Oh look, more sand.
Oh look, a kid died in a boat. Oh, that's it. Okay, bye.
Oh, the movie's over after 2.5 hours.
Wow. Okay, so that's a lot of stuff. This is a barely week, and after all that news for Warner Brothers, that was barely a week into this. So we'll just see what comes more news as the week goes on. Maybe I'm sure there's more to report next week.
That's okay. We have happy news now.
Happy news, as we got to talk about
strange
every
news.
week. Strange news, true. Spider-Man 3. Of course, we talk about that every week, every time we can, because I love Spider-Man.
It's Marvel. 3. It's awesome.
And it seems like the hot topic right now because there's a lot of movie news coming out. So last time we had talked about Jamie Foxx returning as Electro, but we weren't sure if he was going to be playing the same Electro from his Amazing Spider-Man, or if he was going to be playing a new Electro. Well, they pretty much already confirmed, they pretty much basically said that he was going to be the same exact Electro as the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but not because they came out and said that. Because they said that, it just came out from the Hollywood Reporter, Alfred Molina is returning as the Dr. Octopus in Spider-Man 3.
You know what?
What?
The thing is, he's dead.
Right, but okay, no, good point. That's a good point.
It's like the rumors of Emma Stone coming back. It's like, but she's dead.
And I brought this up to one of my other friends who were talking about, time and all that. And I was like, but the multiverse and how time works, he can go back to whatever time he wants. Because if you're going through the multiverse, you can go back to whatever time you want.
Yeah, kind of like Spider-Man Noir and shit like that in the 40s.
Right, kind of like you did with in Endgame when they did the
Time Heist.
Time Heist. Exactly. I feel like it's the same sort of the same concept.
They're just gonna it's gonna be like he disappears right before battling Spider-Man 2, and then he comes back. He's like, "Fuck, I gotta fight this one," and he dies. That'd be so sad.
So not only was Electro, he basically confirms that Electro is coming back as regular, it's Amazing Spider-Man 2 Electro, and Alfred because Alfred Molina is returning as Dr. Octopus. I was like, why would you have Alfred Molina as Dr. Octopus unless it wasn't specifically becoming that Spider-Man 2 movie? This pretty much just means that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are back.
It's 100%. Except for reportedly, rumored.
Right.
Or shouldn't I say reportedly? Rumored, Andrew Garfield has already signed paperwork to be in Spider-Man 3.
I've seen that, yes.
But it's a rumor. It's not confirmed by any legitimate sources.
No, but really, the thing is, at this point, you have those two characters from both the franchises. You're going to have the actors in like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. There's no
watch Tobey Maguire.
There's no way. No, there's not going. I don't actually want to. Like they would have ruined the whole script, dude.
That was
like
13 years ago, bro. I'm good.
My thing is, they already have him signed on. I know for a fact they would not be releasing this information. They would not be creating a story built around the Spider-Verse unless they were already in there.
Sony's just fucking with all of us. They're just like, you think it's gonna be that way, but it's not.
Wouldn't they? That'd be messed up.
You get there and it's like, yeah, it's Electro. You're like, wait a minute, what the fuck? He's in Tom Holland's universe. There's no multiverse.
He's a new character.
It's gonna be like fucking what they do with Mysterio being like, I'm from a different Earth or whatever. And everyone's like, multiverse?
Oh my gosh, that was the biggest fake out ever.
They're like, yeah. Really, he's just playing this version's Dr. Octopus and this world's version of Electro.
Oh my god, that'd be fucked up, dude. I mean, that would be messed up at that point, but...
I'd be watching it, I'd be like, yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah, good job. Never take any Spider-Man news again. They're going to be like, Andrew Garfield's coming back. Like, oh, yeah, sure.
He's the pizza guy, isn't he?
He's going to be in Spider-Man 3. You're like, right, sure. It's like you watch it and he's Harry Osborn.
Oh my gosh. Well, hot on the heels of Alfred Molina returning as Dr. Octopus, it's sort of a movie news. I'm not really entirely sure yet because...
it's another rumor.
It's another rumor, but also like it was reported by a lesser-known film review site called Murphy's Films. They have reported on some stuff on the past, but I haven't quite seen it come into fruition yet. So they reported that the new Spider-Man 3 trailer would be out this month in December.
It is early, though.
It is early, so it might happen, but that's why I'm taking this with a grain of salt.
We will discuss that if it does happen, though. So
but they reported that Charlie Cox is returning as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3.
I do have an issue with this one, though, because 3 years ago,
sure,
when Daredevil went out, got canceled, everyone was like, well, in 3 years, he'll be in Spider-Man 3.
No way.
Like, everybody was like, yeah, in 3 years, yeah, he'll be in Spider-Man 3. He's going to be, as soon as they get the rights back, he's going to be in Spider-Man 3. And then, like, after Far From Home, especially after Far From Home, it's like, oh, yeah, Charlie Cox can be the lawyer that bails him out.
Oh, right. Exactly.
Like, and that's like, oh, yeah, he's coming back as Daredevil. It's like, I've heard all this before. Like, this isn't, like, I don't trust this.
Well, yeah, I guess we'll find out. I mean, there's so much movie news at this point that, I saw a meme for Spider-Man 3. It has, like, breaking, Tom Holland has a cameo in Spider-Man 3 because of all these characters that are coming in.
Here's another issue, though, is that Spider-Man 3 is filming right now.
Yes.
And they're like, oh, they're officially cast. It's like,
they were already cast.
Are you?
That's what I'm saying.
I think
when we hear these news, it's already like 3 months ago that this stuff was already signed.
They're like teasing Spider-Man 3. They're like, get hyped, and I'm over here like, we haven't even seen Black Widow yet. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, you're right. It's one of those. This year is weird because you hear all this movie news and all this traction,
all this progress, and you're like, we're not gonna see it for like 5 years. I
know. We're just like, please just give me something new, dude. Like I'm eating the Mandalorian. I'm waking up at 1 a.m. so I can watch the Mandalorian as soon as it drops because I'm starving for new content.
They're like, in January, WandaVision. It's like, that was supposed to be in July.
I was like, just give it to me, please. I was like, I thought it was supposed to be the end of December, and now you moved it to January?
Oh, yeah, Falcon Winter Soldier is supposed to come out at the beginning of this year, too. Where the fuck is that?
I mean, obviously, we all obviously know why.
Oh, no, Falcon Winter Soldier is supposed to come out in summer, and WandaVision is supposed to come out in December.
Right.
And now, like, we're getting WandaVision, and you're like, well, what about Falcon and Winter Soldier? I want something. Like, come on. And they're like, one more month.
You know what?
Like, no!
I think the reason that one got delayed is I think something in Black Widow happens that is necessary to know for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Or vice versa. That's why one of them is not coming out before the other. I forgot how it works.
Do you find it weird that Spider-Man 3 has a multiverse that Doctor Strange is coming out until 2022?
I thought that is weird. Yes, I was like, okay, if they have a giant mass multiverse, and this is the first time we're being introduced to the multiverse in Spider-Man,
but Doctor Strange is called in the Multiverse of Madness.
That's right. You'd think that would be come out first and then Spider-Man.
It was supposed to.
I know. That's what I thought. Exactly. Maybe they were like, screw it. Doesn't matter. It's Marvel.
People will watch it anyway.
You know,
our timeline can be fucked. I don't care.
I bet you Kevin Feige is sitting here is like, people are going to go see Spider-Man anyways, so fuck it. I don't know.
Dude, okay, here's the funniest thing is like we discussed with New Mutants when that came out. It's like Kevin Feige could just be like, it's good, and I'll be like, yeah, you're right.
yeah, you Kevin Feige, I love you. It's pretty good.
He's like, he sees New Mutants, he's like, fuck it, just release it. It's like, yeah, this is a great film. Because I actually like New Mutants. I'm stupid though. I like Marvel. I'm not like biased.
I love Marvel.
But then it's like Kevin Feige can be like, yeah, Venom 2 takes place in MCU, whatever, and everyone will be like,
oh my god, that's crazy, dude.
It's like a shove off. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's in another multiverse. The fuck.
Another multiverse. Another multiverse.
He's like, Amy Pascal just got off my ass. We don't want your shit, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I'm hoping this multiverse stuff doesn't get too corny, but we'll wait and see, I guess.
Every 2 years, we're going to have a Spider-Verse movie.
I'm okay with that. That would be
I'm hoping
really
it doesn't
cool.
get like overused though. Like they're like, Spider-Verse
It's gonna be like
animation
it's gonna be like those
and
films,
the movie.
It's gonna be like those films that we watched as kids called like Jimmy Timmy Power Hour.
I love that.
Oh, no, me too. where they had, like they had for one movie that called like that was on Jimmy's side of the world, and then one that was on Timmy's side of the world.
And then they went to both in the third
yeah,
one.
Exactly.
This one's gonna be like, and in this one, we're in Tom Holland's, and then Tom Holland goes to Andrew Garfield's, and then they go to Tobey Maguire's, and now they're back in Tom Holland.
Oh boy. What about Miles Morales? Wait, what?
they're like, we don't have that one. We're like, wait, what? No, he's on the cartoon. We don't fuck with that.
No,
we don't want to mess with that.
Miles.
Aaron Davis is better be like the Prowler in Spider-Man 3. Give us like a tease.
Oh, that'd be
Give
cool.
me something.
Well, with the explosion of galactic cinematic proportions probed and percolated about, let's move on to our movie night watch.
I like that pun. That was a good pun. Galactic.
Right.
Nice.
Each Monday, we gather a bunch of friends together and watch an Oscar-winning Best Picture film alternating between the older and newer years. This week, we watched the 2014 Best Picture winner, 12 Years a Slave.
We say we, but really it was just me.
I mean, I watched it. I watched a little bit of it.
You watched it for like the first half hour, and then you're like, I'm uncomfortable. I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, honestly, I did. But just so you guys don't, if you don't know, 12 Years a Slave follows Chiwetel Ejiofor, who plays Solomon Northup, a free black man from upstate New York, who is kidnapped and sold into slavery in the South. He is subjected to the cruelty of one malevolent owner, who he plays by Michael Fassbender. He also finds unexpected kindness from another as he struggles to continually to survive and maintain some of his dignity. I had a very hard time watching this movie.
It is a very uncomfortable watch.
I just cannot. Okay, in general, I'm very bad at watching films where the antagonist cannot fight back. Or sorry, the protagonist can't fight back.
He does fight back. He beat that one guy up.
I know, but it's
and
like
almost got hanged.
It's like one of those things where it's like constant, like just
he's just always getting kicked out.
Yeah, abused, and then you add on top of that the racial like undertones, and obviously not undertones, that are overtones in 12 Years a Slave. And I know this is very a white privilege thing of me, but it's just very hard for me to watch and fathom that people would be like that. So it was just hard to watch, and I know I'll give it a rewatch to give it a real thing and actually let myself experience it, but I couldn't, at least for this first time, not be able to. I had to step away.
It's rough, yeah. I sat there the entire time, and all I could think about was like trying to make jokes to make it like less uncomfortable for me, because I was like, "Oh yeah, she's getting her back ripped. Do you see the flesh and the blood splaying over the place? This is so funny!" Like I was just like, because it's so uncomfortable to watch.
Right.
It's like,
exactly.
God, fucking people are horrible.
Yeah, it's just like it's hard to fathom that that's not even a thing. I mean, obviously, it is, and that's just my white privilege talking, because I can even say that it's hard to fathom thing, but. It's messed up, and I can see why it would win Best Picture winner, just because of the fact that it's how heavy it is just from the material, and the fact that they made it good and interesting. I mean, the main character was really interesting, and I caught spurts of it while I was watching In and Out. But
do you see how many movies we watch that has Marvel characters in it?
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's because Marvel has. That's what Kevin Feige. I mean, we won't go back into Marvel again too much, but that's what Kevin Feige does is he makes sure he gets not just Kevin Feige, but gets good actors from different things.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy because we can watch like any movie and it'll be like, that dude was in Doctor Strange. That dude was in fucking Wonder Woman. That just every single thing, like that person's in some kind of superhero movie.
Well, that's the thing is superhero movies have realized that they need to get good actors to make their movies good, and that's the thing about how far superhero movies have come is from your Captain America with a trash can way back in the day and a helmet and a bicycle helmet or not a bicycle or a motorcycle helmet. Or even Arnold Schwarzenegger. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger that did Hulk?
No, that was
Hulk. No, it was Lou Ferrigno's Hulk. To now, when we got these like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, you get actual really good actors.
And it makes it so much better.
And exactly.
But regardless, so like this movie is really rough. So basically, you spend 12 years in movie time, not watching it, but like in the movie. But you spend 12 years with Solomon Northup as he takes on the name Platt.
Or that's what they give him.
Yeah, they give him the name Platt because they kidnap him because he's a performer. And they kidnap him and say he's a slave and like sell him, even though he was a free man in the North. And basically, like he first he goes to a nice, I don't want to say nice because like they're slave owners, they're not nice, but he's more well treated,
right?
By the guy who I can't remember his name because he's only in the movie for like 20 minutes, but like he's played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh yeah,
and he has a worker played by Paul Dano.
Oh my god!
And Paul Dano basically like beats the shit out of him.
Yeah, there's a lot of uncomfortable scenes. Like they basically wanted to kill him.
Yeah, they don't shy away from the shit that happened.
Exactly.
They're not like, we're gonna look away, and like, no, you
it's
watch.
You watch. It's one of the things, and they make you watch, and they keep it on there for so long, and it makes you more uncomfortable and more uncomfortable. Like, and it's just hard for me to watch, and I know I need to sit through it because it's something that like I should be able to sit through and experience it because if other people like in the past have gone through it, then I should be able to watch a movie about it. But
dude, that's like
I'm not. And the thing is I don't usually shy away from most stuff. Like to me, most stuff is like I can watch whatever. But like this was really hard for me. Like I don't.
Yeah, dude, it's a fucked up movie. But no, Paul Dano like basically at one point tells Solomon to use nails, and then gets mad because Solomon uses the nails and tries to beat him with a whip. So Solomon gets the whip and starts beating him. And when they ask him, like, what happened? He's like, you were going to whip me for doing what you told me to do. And then, like, they try to lynch him.
Yep. And
then Benedict Cumberbatch's character is like, yo, you got to get out of here. Like, I can't have you here. Like, so he sells him to Michael Fassbender, which is so hard to watch Michael Fassbender, like, rape people and, like, beat them and, like, be a horrible person. Because like me, I was like, you're Magneto, which I know is a villain, but you like Magneto. So it's like, it's like it's awkward. It's like, no, you can't. No, stop.
Exactly.
But then it's like you're watching this guy and he's like screaming at Solomon, getting drunk, like his wife's throwing bottles at people's heads and shit.
Oh, that was whack, dude. Yeah. Every turn, there's just something like even worse, like just around the corner, and you're like, this is hard to watch.
This is the bad part, and then it's like you thought.
You thought.
Exactly. Like they're having a dance. Like he wakes up the slaves to go dance in his house, and his wife just picks up an empty liquor like glass bottle and hurls it at a girl's head.
Yeah, exactly.
And it says like, "Get rid of the bitch." And I'm like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I don't. There's so many things to go into with this film, but I would watch it just for the fact of it. I mean, to see why it won Best Picture, and also for the fact that it's a hard film to watch, but an important film to be able to understand, and the fact that it was on a true story too.
Dude, the ending. Okay, spoilers for this, but the ending. It's just the title cards at the end. It's not the ending of the film, but like, they don't know when he died. He wrote this book, 12 Years a Slave, and then he just disappeared. Like they don't know where he died. They don't know where he's buried. They don't know what happened to him. And I was like, that's fucked.
Yeah, exactly.
My review on Letterboxd was pure raw footage. This film holds nothing back. Absolutely nothing. It makes obscenely uncomfortable. It's obscenely uncomfortable to watch scenes. Oh my god, I can't talk, Mytchel. It makes obscenely uncomfortable to watch scenes attack you with visceral images. You see the blood spray and the flesh tear as the unforgivable crimes take place. It's heartbreaking torture, and yet you always want Solomon to escape to go home to his family. It's an unforgettable movie. Exactly. It's like one of those things that like it stays with me. Like I was like, fuck, dude. Like,
no, exactly. It is one of the ones that stay with you, and that is for sure. And like I said, I'll have to rewatch it again just so that it for sure stays with me.
It's. I think it's. I don't want to say it's the best of the newer ones because, as you know, we alternate from old to new.
Sure.
But like, it's up there with some of the newer ones we've seen because we've only watched Parasite to 12 Years a Slave going backwards, and like, it's up there as one of the best ones.
No, yeah, I definitely agree.
It's just hard to watch.
It is very hard to watch, but. Well, with that down, we're going to move on to our weekly movie watches. Every week, we don't get the chance to watch every movie together, despite our undying friendship.
I try, but you don't want to come over.
Exactly, like it's so hard. But so I got a chance to watch John Q, starring Denzel Washington. John Q basically follows a dude who has a kid with a heart problem. The kid has a heart problem, and life insurance fails them because of America, and Denzel Washington takes the hospital hostage with a gun. Takes the heart surgeon hostage.
I didn't expect that. You're like with a gun. I was like, oh shit!
Yeah, he takes the hostage. He basically closes down the emergency room and takes the place hostage. This was like a 180 for me because I was basically
it sounds like because
there was like the first hour,
it's a really like sad sounding movie of him trying to like get his family together, try to help his son, and it's like, he takes the hospital hostage.
The first hour of this film was like, I don't know where this is going because basically, it turns out the guy has a good relationship with his kid, and the kid's a really sweet kid, and then the kid like falls over playing baseball, and then they find out that he has a heart condition, and the hospital.
It's a heartfelt movie, nice,
right? And it's you're like okay, that's sad, and like so then the doctors say his insurance isn't covered. So then Denzel Washington goes back to his job site, which he only works at 20 or basically part time now because he works at a construction worker, and they basically told him that they dropped his insurance to part time But he's like, oh, I work full time. I'm employed full time, but I only work part time. And because you guys don't have enough work. Like, well, yeah, that's why we give you part time insurance because you only work part time.
My work does that too. If you go down to 30 hours,
right? Which is a thing. It's a thing that America does, or whatever. But the fact is, he didn't have the insurance to cover his son's heart surgery, so he couldn't get the heart surgery done. And the lady told him at the hospital, well, unless you come up with the $60K that you need to put down as a deposit for the heart surgery because it costs $250,000 to do this, then we're not putting your son on the donors list, and he can't get a heart.
That's fucked. That's
and
America, though.
That's America, exactly. And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. And he's like, so he does all he can to try and sell as much stuff as he can, and he comes up with $15K, not even close to the $60K that he needs. And so he's like, what do I do? And then he goes and begs the people and applies to all these different grants or whatever. And they basically tell him nah, we're not going to help your kid. He's like, he's pretty much just going to die. He's like, we're not, he's like, you can't come with the money. We don't care. He's just going to die.
I don't think I'm ever going to watch this movie.
And I was like, this is fucking bullshit. And so then he approaches the heart surgeon doctor. He basically asks him one more time, hey, please, I need my kid. I will do whatever I can to get this money for the rest of my life. Just save my kid. Put him on the list, And the guy's like, no, I can't help you. This is out of my hands. It's not my decision, blah, blah, blah. And so basically, it's weird because the way it happens in the movie is he pulls out his gun, right?
Yeah.
But the way the movie is shot changes just very, very slightly. And so I thought it was a flash or a thing in his head what he wanted to do until it kept going and going. And I was like, wait a minute, this is real.
You're hold up.
So basically, he takes out the gun and pushes the guy in the emergency room, and he takes this emergency room hostage with at least 5 other people. I'm gonna let you guys watch it because I wanna leave the ending a little bit open to see what happens. But yeah, basically he takes the emergency room hostage, and his ultimatum is get his son a heart.
That's fucking sad, dude.
Actually, you know what? No, I'm not gonna watch it because I want to talk about it a lot, and it's actually it's a good story because his son gets a heart. Let's just say that. However, the whole actually does he get a heart? I don't know. You guys have to watch it.
I'm not watching this movie. It sounds heartbreaking.
I'll just let you guys watch it.
I don't like sad movies.
No, I'll just let you guys watch it. And you should tell me. All I'll say is it's not okay. I'll just tell you the ending. The kid gets a heart. Actually, that's not a spoiler because the kid gets a heart. I'll tell you that it is a good ending. The kid gets a heart. So we'll just go with that. But Bryce,
you're about to make my movies look like shit.
I mean, well, anything with Denzel Washington, it's gonna be. It's gonna be.
I watched one of his movies called Fences. I didn't like that movie.
Okay, well, anything Denzel Washington anything Denzel Washington in, he's good. That's all I gotta say.
He wasn't good at Fences.
I'll watch Fences this week, and I'll tell you if he was good or not.
Yeah, he was nominated for Best Picture in 2015.
Okay, well then he was nominated for Best Picture, so it was good.
That doesn't make it good.
Well,
that.
I mean, no, but the fact is, if it was nominated for Best Picture, majority of people thought it was good. So even if we don't agree, technically it was good.
All right. Well, I have cable, which I'm sure you know.
Sure.
Most people don't. I do. There's a channel called Turner Classic Movies. I'm sure you've heard of it.
Yeah.
TCM. I have that now. And the night I bought it, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes was on, and I was like, I'm gonna watch this.
Hey, sweet.
And I don't like Marilyn Monroe. I hate Marilyn Monroe. Her voice is so fucking annoying.
When you told me this at first, I looked at you and I was like, "What are you talking about? You don't like Marilyn Monroe, you weirdo?" And then, it dawned on me that I've never actually seen her in anything. I just seen pictures of her. I just know Marilyn Monroe. And then you're like, "Okay, hold up, I gotta show you this." And you showed me some clips of her, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I would not want to watch a whole movie of that, dude." And she's like, "Oh, no,
fucking
Marilyn
Christ.
Monroe. Give me some. I don't even know. This is what
give me money." No, dude, her character.
Oh, it's
okay,
so.
Let me get into what Jump for Blondes is, because that's what this is about. It's not about Marilyn Monroe. That's a person, not a movie. So
correct.
There was a movie called Marilyn, but I'm not watching that. So Jump for Blondes follows 2 workers. I don't know if I call them workers or I don't want to call them burlesque workers. They're dancers.
Sure.
One of them's played by Marilyn Monroe, and the other one is played by Jane Russell. And Marilyn Monroe has. Yeah, she's Jane Russell. She's hot. I like Jane Russell. Even though she's, she was probably 40 when this was made. I don't care. She was hot.
But obviously Marilyn Monroe is blonde, and then the Jane Russell's brunette.
Brunette, which is important.
Right.
Gentlemen prefer blondes. Remember that. So anyway, Marilyn Monroe has a suitor I want to call him a suitor. That sounds old-timey. Let's go with that.
Okay.
And he basically is a fucking pushover who Marilyn Monroe's character is like, oh, honey, give me some money. And he's like, yeah, here's my wallet.
That's not a pushover. That's a sugar daddy.
It's not even a sugar daddy, dude. He's a fucking loser.
Oh, does he not?
Like,
does he not get her at all?
Kinda.
Okay, that doesn't count.
Let me explain. Let me go through this.
Okay, you go.
Okay, so she agrees to marry him for the money, not because she likes him.
Sure.
For the money, because his daddy is a fucking
so
rich
you're telling
fucking
me that
oil
Marilyn
man.
Monroe is no, like it's not Marilyn Monroe, but Marilyn Monroe's character is a gold digger.
I feel like she is in most movies.
Really? But anyways, okay, so number for blonde.
So they're like, yeah, let's go on a honeymoon. But his dad, her lover's dad, is like, you can't go. So she goes on this honeymoon by herself. They're not married yet. They're gonna get married in Europe, but he's not going with her on this boat.
Why?
Because her dad hates him. Or
okay.
his dad hates her.
Okay.
Because he realizes, she's a gold digging bitch.
Smart. Okay.
But they go on this boat, and Marilyn Monroe basically spends the entire voyage to Europe trying to get in with this old fucking sugar daddy.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's rich, and she's like, hoo hoo hoo. Meanwhile, her companion woman, played by Jane Russell, who I can't remember her name. I can't remember any of their names. They weren't that interesting.
Sure.
But I think one was like Laura Lee, was like Marilyn Monroe's character's name, but regardless. So basically, there's a private detective that her suitor's dad hired to follow her around and get photos of her being risque with other men. To be like, son.
Was she risque?
Not in the sense like she was trying to fuck everybody, but she was definitely using everybody for money.
Oh, okay.
And he got some photographs, but the private detective falls in love with Jane Russell's character. And Jane Russell's character falls in love with the private detective. But of course, she's like, well, you're trying to hurt my friends, so I don't want to be with you. Anyway, they get to Europe, and it turns out that the detective reported that Laura Lee, or Marilyn Monroe's character, was a fucking tramp. And canceled her money and everything that the suitor gave her to live in Europe.
Cancel the credit cards!
Essentially what happened. And so Jane Russell and Marilyn Monroe become dancers in Europe to make some money.
Okay.
And she gets accused of stealing a tiara.
And that's it?
There's more.
Okay, good.
The suitor comes to Europe and is like, I love you. Like, I can't be with you. I'm sorry, you're a tramp. Like, why would he report that you're a tramp if you're not a tramp? And she's like, oh, but I love you. He's like, you stole a tiara. And she's like, no, it was given to me.
What?
That's her excuse, is it was given to her. She didn't steal it. It was given to her.
Was it stolen, though?
This is the good part. Jane Russell goes to court to testify on her as Laura Lee with the fucking blonde hair.
Did Jane Russell steal it?
What? No.
Oh, okay.
The old man she was like trying to sue because it was his wife's tiara.
Yeah.
Took it.
The old man?
Yeah, he stole it back.
Oh my goodness.
And so they can't find the tiara, and the detective helps Marilyn Monroe and her companion get the tiara or whatever. By the end of the movie, you're just like, fuck Marilyn Monroe, man. She's a gold digger, but Jane Russell's hot, and she's nice, and she deserves happiness. She was the best part of the film. Fuck Marilyn Monroe, she sucks. But the end of the film is like the guy's, like she sits there and she finds the dad, and he's like, yeah, fuck Laura Lee, I don't like her. And she's like, I'm Laura Lee, because he went to the trial and saw Jane Russell.
Right.
He thought that was Laura Lee. And he's like, well, I don't really like you. You're a slut.
You slut.
And she's like, but I love him. And the dad's like, I love her. And then they get married. Like, she still ends up with a fucking pushover.
Wow.
But it's like, she just plays the same gold-digging bitch in everything I've seen her in. I've only seen her in 2 movies.
Yeah, that's a little messed up there, but...
It's literally like she plays this ditzy, dumbass blonde.
I mean, it sounds... I mean, at least the way you assigned it, or you may explain it, probably is more interesting than the movie, I'm not gonna lie about it.
It's interesting, but, like, I don't know, it's worth a watch in my mind, because there's, like, there's a funny kid who helps her out of a window because she gets stuck in a window, whatever. There's funny scenes, but it's like, the character plays so ditzy and dumb that I just hate her.
Right, exactly.
Because it's like, no one's this fucking dumb.
Yeah,
it's like one of those overacting.
Overacting,
like,
exactly.
Oh, I'm such a helpless little lady.
That's exactly what it seemed like. She overacted.
Yeah, because I showed you some clips of, like,
right.
her being like, a tiara? Does it go around my neck? And they're like, no, you dumb bitch, it's a tiara.
You're like, no, okay, who wrote this movie? Like, who wrote this movie and why is Marilyn Monroe acting that way?
The best thing is, she wasn't even the lead. Jane Russell was.
But I like Jane Russell.
You know why Jane Russell was brought in?
To be the lead.
To be the lead, because Marilyn Monroe didn't have such a big following yet.
Following, or that she wasn't that good in the first place.
She's not a good actress. At least, okay, for all you Marilyn Monroe stands, let's face it, you're just liking her because she's hot.
I mean, of course.
She's a sex icon. She's not a good actress. She's done some good things, don't get me wrong. Like, she's, she's done good in some things, but she just plays the same character and everything.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't really know her. I mean, I actually...
Do you know she was a depressed alcoholic?
I think I've heard
the director
of
Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. I think it was Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. It was either Gentlemen Prefer Blondes or 7 Year Itch. Hated working with her, so he vowed never to work with her again.
Oh my goodness!
Ended up doing it anyway because he was like, "She's the only character that could do this." It's like you just hire her back because she's hot.
I don't know her much more just for that, like the photos of her that.
It's literally just the photos,
famous photos of her. But other than that, I don't know.
I also don't like how everyone just acts like she's like the hottest person in the world. It's like she's really not, and her voice is really annoying.
But she's cute. But then also Jane
Russell's way fucking hotter.
Yeah, she is. She's pretty cute.
I was like, I like that one better. You're like. Yeah, she looks better.
But
yes, she does.
Obviously, that's some
personal taste.
It's
just one of those things where everyone always talks about how great Marilyn Monroe is, and then when I actually watched Marilyn Monroe, I was like,
"You're like, wait a minute,
why?"
She's not that good." But to be fair, when you did show me, I was like, "Okay, well, that's not much more than I expected of her, anyways." I'm not gonna lie, but
I mean, I expected more with the amount of like praise and following she still has.
Fair.
Like, I expected her to be like.
Honestly, I didn't even know she was an actor. Like you told me she acted in movies.
You're like,
wait,
what?
I thought she just sang, and I was like, I've actually never even heard.
And then I showed you the singing, and I was like, doesn't her voice sound different when she sings versus when she talks? Like, she has a deeper voice, and like, I'm pretty sure her voice she used in all of her movies was just a stage performing voice.
Probably.
She was like, oh yeah, and then she's like, yeah, Big Daddy, I don't know.
Hey, your mama, let me whisper in your ear.
But yeah, I don't know. That was my TCM thing. I'm enjoying this channel. It's like it's basically all movie stuff, and I love it.
That's awesome.
Like as soon as I finished Gentlemen Before Blondes, a silent film came on. I was like, this is great. This is like my shit.
You're like, this is my life.
I love this. And then, fun fact, I'm just gonna mention this. The silent movie came on. You know what showed up first?
What?
The Criterion Seal.
Nice.
I was like, Criterion?
You like Criterion?
I went and looked at my collection. I was like, do I have this?
That's nice. Did you?
I do not.
Oh, so you watched the movie?
I did not watch it on TCM because it's 2.5 hours long.
Oh, you're like, it's a long movie, dude.
It's from 1931, silent film, 2.5 hours.
Plus, you can't double time or whatever.
Like, I'm good. Don't get me wrong. There are silent films I won't watch in double speed, but this one would not have been that. This is like some surrealism, but that's beside the point. It's like some really long ass shots of just people looking in the ocean. I was like, I don't really want to watch that in normal speed.
Well, you also watched the movie called Trading Places.
Yes, this one is a comedy.
Okay.
Which I don't like comedies.
Right.
But I watched this one, and it has Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah, you told me about this. Right, and you told me how you sent it to me, and I was like, wait, you actually gave this high stars as like it's an Eddie Murphy film? And you're like, yeah, and I was like, well, Eddie Murphy does comedies. You're like, yeah, and I was like, you don't like comedies. And he's like, yeah, you're right, but this is what I do.
But it's really funny. So Dan Aykroyd plays a rich snob accountant.
Mm-hmm.
And Eddie Murphy plays a bum.
Okay.
And basically, like, this big misunderstanding happens where, like, the rich guy gets knocked over by Eddie Murphy. And Murphy's like, he tells him, like, he's a criminal. He tried to rob him. Even though Eddie Murphy was like, I'm just trying to give you back your fucking bag, but all right.
Right.
And these old men.
So racial profiling, okay.
Yes. And these old men basically sitting there and they're like, well, a man like that, the bum, is only in a situation because of where he is now. If he was in a place like the rich man, he wouldn't be acting like this. And the guy's like, oh, you really want to put a bet on that? Because they're brothers. Like, the usual? He's like, yeah, the usual. They shake on it. So what they do is they bail Eddie Murphy out of jail and give him the house, the butler, the job of the rich guy, played by Dan Aykroyd.
What the hell?
And Dan Aykroyd basically, like, goes to jail, comes out, goes home, knocks on the door, and is like, oh, thank God you're here, because his butler opens the door. He's like, thank God, I need clothes. And the guy's like, who the fuck are you?
Oh my God!
Because he's hired by the brothers,
right?
And they asked him, was like, "Would you be willing to do this?" He's like, "Well, yeah, you pay me, yeah,
whatever, man. I don't care.
You're my boss on him. Fuck it." And it's so funny because who the fuck's her name? Jamie
Foxx?
No, Jamie. She played in Halloween. Jamie Curtis.
Oh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes, yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis. She plays a prostitute in this movie, who basically is hired by the brothers, like one of their workers, to fuck with this man, the rich guy, to ruin his relationship.
Oh, okay.
With his like fiance.
This sounds messed up.
You haven't got to the best part. That's why it's so funny to me. So he gets out of jail, before he goes back to his butler, and he comes down, and Jamie Lee Curtis comes out and like kisses him in front of his fiance.
Oh no!
And he's like, baby, because he's arrested for being a dope dealer. Okay. And she's like, baby, I just need a hit. I just need a little bit. I just need a little. And his girlfriend's like, who the fuck is this? And he's like, I don't know. She's like, oh, you know me, and then kisses him in front of the girl. And she's like, fuck this, I hate you. Slaps him and like runs away. And the guy's like, I don't even know who the fuck that is. Oh and then God. The girl, like, as soon as the fiance leaves, like, oh yeah, that man over there paid me $100 to come do this to you. And the guy's like, the fuck?
That's messed up.
And the guy's gone, so he doesn't know who did it, which is funny too because he just disappears. And then he goes and lives with the prostitute. Like, she helps him. Because he's like, I'm really rich, I got da-da-da. And then his bank account's been frozen because he was arrested for dope dealing. He was kicked out of his house. He lost his job. He lost his fiancée. He's lost his whole job. Meanwhile, Eddie Murphy gets his butler, gets his house, gets his car, gets his job, is actually really good at it. Because he's supposed to be guessing, like, stock market changes.
Oh, sure.
And so he's like, well, people aren't going to be doing that because, it's Christmas time and obviously da-da-da-da. He's really good at it. And they're like, nice. And the brother who did the bet together, they're like, I told you. He's like, shut the fuck up. We don't know yet. But basically, it transpires until, like, the rich guy has gone such down low where he dresses as Santa, goes to the party, like, at the corporate party, and tries to plant dope in Eddie Murphy's desk.
Oh, my goodness.
And then comes in and calls the boss. Is like, look. And the guy's just sitting there like, holy fuck, you did it. And the brothers just stare at each other like, all right. And then, like, Eddie Murphy goes to the bathroom because at this point, he's like, I'm trying to do my best.
Right.
I got this job. I got this house. I'm going to do my best. He's in the bathroom smoking weed because, it's the 80s. And he's in there because the weed was part of the dope things he grew in. He's in there like blowing an event and then he has the door open. So he gets on the toilet and the brothers look under the stalls. And then he goes, all right, so you're right. So what do we do? Do we want the guy back? The rich guy? They're like, no. I can't think I could work with him again. He's really fucked up now. So I was like, yeah, I agree. What about Eddie Murphy's character? They're like, no, let's just keep him until the new year and then we'll just get rid of him. They're like, oh shit. Meanwhile, Eddie Murphy's in the toilet like, fuck.
Right.
And they're like, all right, so you won the bet. He's like, yep, here you go, $1.
Oh my, it is $1? I'm sorry, if you can't see my reaction, but I'm literally just face palming right now. Like, I just had to take a moment to face palm.
Ruined
what?
A guy's life, two guys' lives for $1.
That sounds like some shit me and my best friend would do. Me and Micah would do. It's like, hey, you want to make a bet? And he's like, do it.
But it gets better.
Okay.
Because I'm going to spoil this whole movie.
Okay.
Heads up. I'm going to spoil the whole fucking thing. They find out that there's a frozen orange juice like stock exchange tip they're supposed to pick up. So Eddie Murphy teams up with a rich dude to go take it.
Oh my goodness.
Do this whole convoluted thing. It's a really weird thing with blackface that happens, but it's like no one cared about it, which I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's not good. Like, it's 86. Like, oh, shit.
Okay.
Or 83 or something like that. I was like, fuck, that's not okay. But I guess it wasn't a big deal because it was, I don't know, nobody made a big deal about it. I looked it up online because I was like, was that okay? Like,
right.
Why do people like this? But they get the frozen orange juice thing, and then they go to the stock exchange. Do this whole convoluted plan, then lie to the two brothers. Like, the two brothers think something totally different. That's a different topic. Tropic Thunder's different.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, blackface in 1980. I mean, obviously, it's not a good thing. But I looked up something because Tropic Thunder came out in 2008, and Robert Downey Jr. did blackface.
But he wasn't a household name at the time. He was only known for Iron Man. He hadn't even Iron Man 2 yet.
No, my point is though that it's been done afterwards, and like, I mean, that's not a good thing. But
no,
I'm just saying
it's not okay. Like, I don't think Tropic Thunder would work today.
No, well, I don't know. I've never seen it, but anyways.
But anyway, so they go to the stock exchange after tricking the brothers into thinking that the orange juice is going to be like keep going up, so just keep buying. And they do this convoluted thing where they get the brothers to buy all this orange juice, and then the orange juice stock plummets. It's like all their orange juice is worth nothing. And they're basically fucking, they make them broke while getting rich themselves. So they take all the brothers' money away from them at the stock exchange and take it.
Oh, jeez.
So the brothers are left penniless and broke. And then they're like, why would you do this to us after everything we've done? And they're like, oh, well, I bet that we, Eddie Murphy like looks at them and goes like, well, I bet that we couldn't make you guys broke while making us at the rich at the same time. Well, here you go, $1, and gives the rich guy $1.
Smart, dude.
And I was like, nice.
That's a good ending to a film.
Yes,
I like that.
It was really good. They both end up rich on the island with the butler and the prostitute. You know, the rich guy's marrying the prostitute. Like, they're all just happy. It's chill.
See, here's the thing about films like that is that you can like tell me everything that's gonna happen, but it's about the journey. It's about actually experiencing it.
It's so funny, man. And here's the best thing. This movie is connected to Coming to America.
Really?
The two brothers show up broke in Coming to America. They're like beggars sitting on the street. Same actors, everything.
But wait, Coming to America has
Eddie Murphy.
Right.
He plays the lead. And the two brothers cameo as the two brothers, penniless and broke as homeless people.
Oh, Coming to America?
Mm-hmm. So it's
the second one or the first one?
The first one. The second one's not out yet.
Well, that's pretty cool then.
Yeah, so that's why I was like, I want to talk about that movie because it's relevant to a movie coming out.
Oh, Coming to America too. Oh, that's what. Okay, wow, smooth.
So,
I like that.
Trading Places
is actually in the same universe as Coming to America. That's cool. That's
and I don't know. Like it's worth a watch. I like Dan Aykroyd in it. He was funny. Eddie Murphy stole the show. I mean, this is back when he was like a popular fucking actor.
He was in his prime.
Before his downfall after Shrek. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know, with Coming to America 2 coming out, I'm pretty excited. I need to watch the first one now because I've never seen it. I just knew about the cameos. So now I'm like, I really want to watch it.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely should take a look at that too.
Yes, I saw a lot more, but those are the 2 movies I saw this week worth talking about because the other ones were just like there.
I saw Amazing Spider-Man, but we got on rants about Marvel for too much, so I'm not going to talk about that.
That would be we should just have a whole episode just Spider-Man.
We should. We totally
Spider-Man special after Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man special? Oh yeah, we should do that. Leading up to Spider-Man 3. Well, anyways, so, easily, you know how easy it is to talk about? We just start talking about Spider-Man like, so easily.
Marvel! You're like, yeah, let's spend the next 20 minutes talking about Marvel. And then we're like, wait a minute, podcast.
That's exactly us. Well, we also watched David Fincher's new film, Mank. So I've never seen Citizen Kane. We were waiting for one of our other group members, Skylar, to show up and watch Mank. But so you had me watch Citizen Kane. I was not too impressed. I didn't really see
arguments we've gotten into online with people.
I know. I didn't really see what people were. I didn't really see what people got out of this movie. I mean, it's really like there's a good pop in the first 10 minutes of the film, and then like it introduces you really well.
And then there's that really slow middle. It's
just kind of like
being a newspaper tycoon and shit.
It's just like cool. There's a lot of like meh. I mean, there are some okay scenes during it, but then like last 10 minutes where everything like pulls together. It's like, okay, that was cool. Like, I see what they did there.
I feel like maybe you don't like it as much because you've already seen everything it's done.
Right, like, and that's my point, though. That's my point,
though. I get it. It did a lot of these things first, but, like, I've seen it so much, I'm desensitized. It's like when we watched Seven Samurai, and we're like, you've seen the plot so many times, it kind of makes this movie not feel as great.
Exactly. You've seen the plot, you've seen the shots, like, and I understand that, like, Citizen Kane pioneered so many different cinematic, like, shots and, cinematography shots. But my point is, I've already seen this used in so much other stuff that it's already. This is like
you're like, this is the norm.
It's like this is just like I don't see anything. I don't get it. Like, what are you saying? And then I learned that this pioneer these things. I'm like, okay, well then respect, but also it's still not. I've still seen it better.
Yeah, I just find it super impressive that Orson Welles was like 22.
He was. No, that's impressive. You are right.
They're like, yeah, this man's doing some like did War of the Worlds like on radio, and people thought that shit was real. So we're just gonna give him a blank check to fucking like do whatever he wants. And then like when he was doing it, they'd keep coming in because like the studios normally watch like at the time they used to watch like what people were doing. They like go in and watch the shots or whatever, make sure their money is going to good use.
Sure.
And Orson Welles was like, "Get the fuck out!" He's like,
"Why are you in here?"
He's like, "You don't get to see, you don't get to know. Go away." And then like some newspaper tycoon was like, "Holy shit, this movie's gonna be about me. Fuck that. No, shut that shit down," and try to get it banned in the whole like fucking every country. Threaten newspapers that if like or theaters that if they showed the movie they'd be shut down. They'd be boycotted.
Was it about him though?
Either or, like it's
well, it's not Citizen Kane.
It's not officially about him, but it's like aimed at him.
But then Mank.
Then we watched Mank, and as me, I like old movies. I was really excited because this was a black and white mono stereo film, like an old school 40s film. I was like, yeah, let's fuking go. And then I found it so fucking awkward to watch
because it was like you could tell it was filmed in 2020.
You could tell it like it. It didn't feel like an old film.
It's because they probably used newer equipment and put filters over it.
I totally would have rather this been like a fucking color, fucking normal shot film,
right?
Instead of being like, oh, we're gonna be artsy and have a black and white and mono stereo like Citizen Kane was. It's like, fuck off, do your own thing.
That's where they went wrong. Is they should have filmed it like sort of newer with a style of like with
they
a
should have had a noir style,
yeah.
But in color, maybe like a dimmed color or whatever, like a different palette. But it shouldn't have been just like, we're going to take Citizen Kane's color palette and make it into Mank. And it'll be like Citizen Kane, but it won't be. But it's about Citizen Kane, so people will love it. And I'm like, I don't like it. I don't like it. I hate it.
I just found it
so fucking boring. It was literally 2 hours of watching Orson Welles drunk as fucking bed just screaming at Orson Welles. And Orson Welles didn't look like fucking Orson Welles. The guy who had to play it, I don't know, he had a weird fucking nose. It didn't sound right. He had beard. And I was like, that's not what Orson Welles looked like at the time. I know,
you were really disappointed. Exactly, I can feel your anger or your frustration because you were looking forward to this a lot. It was on your birthday, too.
It was literally like 6 months. Everyone's like putting it on their list for the, like, could win Best Picture. I was like, let's fucking go. It's about Hollywood. I love movies about Hollywood. Let's fucking do it. And I was like, this sucks. This is so disappointing. This is stupid. Why the fuck is this made? They had fucking, what's her name? The girl that played, fuck, I don't even care. The blonde bitch from Mean Girls. And she played, like, a person. And, like,
Regina
legit,
George,
one of her lines was like, the Hitler fellow is so scummy. I'm like, fuck off. Nobody knew that shit. Like, it's 1940. No one, like, they knew Hitler was a terrible person. They didn't know the fucking, like, level of his fucking terribleness. Nobody had fucking, we weren't even in World War II yet. America was not in World War II. We knew nothing. And then they're going to be like, Hitler was a terrible person. It's like, no fucking shit. That sounds like you're just fucking doing it for the fucking modern audiences instead of being, like, historically accurate. Like, fuck. Like, at least in Citizen Kane, they were like, yeah, Citizen Kane was with Hitler at the time. Because it's 1941. We didn't know about the shit he was doing.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then, like, Orson Welles was not Orson Welles. Gary Oldman was not very good in this movie either.
It was just boring.
Dude, I've seen some movies with him that I'm like, yeah, this is really bad. Like, Sid and Nancy. Like, he plays Sid Vicious from Sex Pistols, which I know you don't know what that band is. But anyway, that movie was horrible. But that was one of his first roles. Like, we give him some leeway. But, like, fuck, dude, you're supposed to be a household name, and all you did was sit there and go, like, yeah, I'm doing my best I can. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, I don't even have how to have that much emotion for this film because nothing happened in it.
No,
so.
Nothing happened. I think that's what's bothering me. It's like, I get it. It's about a movie. It's a movie film. Whatever.
You know, okay, here's the thing why I don't like this film.
Fucking add something.
The reason I don't like Citizen Kane that much, the reason I don't like Mank that much, and the reason I don't like a lot of the older films which I know that me and Bryce gets in spats about quite often.
A little bit, yeah.
It's because it feels like nothing ever happens in them. And there are some that stuff does happen, but it feels like everything takes longer for things to happen.
It's a lot of build up to get to that pop.
Right. And I'm just not a fan of like a lot of build up. I'm just like, I don't care at this point.
Yeah, dude, I got so mad at Mank, especially after watching Citizen Kane, because I like Citizen Kane. I'm not like one of those people that's like put it on a pedestal. It's the best film ever fucking made, because it's not. But I like Citizen Kane. I like what it's done. I like the story. And then like watching Mank directly after it, I was like, I don't fucking like this movie. I would rather watch Citizen Kane over Mank. Yeah. Any day of the week. It's a much better film. And then, like, everyone...
No, I agree, too.
All these fucking people sucking David Fincher's dick online, where they're like, it's David Fincher, it's so good! I'm like, just because he made Fight Club, Gone Girl, and fucking Seven, Zodiac, he has a lot of good movies, but not every movie he makes needs to be fucking acclaimed bullshit.
Yeah, like Christopher Nolan with Tenet.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan, everyone's like, oh my god, he made the Dark Knight trilogy, he made Inception, he made Interstellar. Yeah, but he also made Dunkirk.
Oh my god, Dunkirk's ass, dude. I hate Dunkirk.
He also made Insomnia, which is a remake of a fucking good movie from Sweden. I think Sweden? Yeah, Sweden. It's like, not every film a director does is fucking gold. Yeah, not everything he touches is like, this is so great. Look, David Fincher's name. Like,
people are going to say they like it just because they're cinephiles.
They're like, I love movies, so I love Mank. I'm like, you don't have to like these movies to be a cinephile. Just because everyone else says it's good doesn't mean your opinion's any less validated.
Agreed.
It's like, it's like with Martin Scorsese being like, Marvel movies are just candy. They don't have any actual substance. They're not good movies. It's like, just because Martin Scorsese says it doesn't mean you need to sit there and be like, well, he said it, so like, it has to be true.
I mean, I have to see some of those films because, so they say it's some of the greatest, but I haven't seen any of those films yet, and it's going to take me a minute to get to them.
I've seen a couple, and some of them are really boring. Yeah. Also, I was one of those people that like grew up thinking, because everyone was like, Martin Scorsese's like the king of the gangster flicks. So I always thought Godfather was Martin Scorsese, but it's not. It's Francis Ford Coppola.
Yeah, right, exactly.
But I always thought it was Martin Scorsese because everyone's like, Goodfellas, Gangs of New York. Like, every mobster movie somehow Martin Scorsese. And it's like, wait, no, that's wrong.
Yeah, Scorsese, for some reason, well, whatever. We can get into some of the stuff, but Mank and Citizen Kane are meh for me. Citizen Kane is a higher for you.
Citizen Kane is great for me. The more I watch the movie, the more I love that movie.
I mean, I'll probably watch it again at some point, just because people talk about it so much. I don't get it.
But I won't watch Mank until it comes out in the Criterion Collection. Who knows fucking that? Like, probably next year.
Well, with our thoughts on the various content we watched throughout the week spiraling into the Filmverse, let's move on to our Filmverse feature. Each week before our podcast, we watch a film that the other person wants to share. Last week, Bryce chose the 2014 film Whiplash, which follows Miles Teller, who is an ambitious young jazz drummer in pursuit of rising to the top of elite music wow. Basically, he wants to become a good musician at the best.
He wants to be a great drummer.
Exactly. Terrence Fletcher, which is played by J.K. Simmons, is an instructor known for his terrifying teaching methods. He discovers Miles Teller. He discovers Miles Teller and transfers the inspiring drummer into the top jazz ensemble, forever changing the young man's life. But Miles Teller's passion to achieve perfection quickly spirals into obsession, and his ruthless teacher pushes him to the brink of his ability and his sanity.
That's a pretty good synopsis of that film.
No, it was a great synopsis.
Yeah, that one actually fits really well.
It does. Some of these synopses I read, I don't read them before I put them on there.
You're like, that's not what happened at all.
I was like, oh, this is a pretty good synopsis of what this film is. And It is fucking amazing, dude.
The amount of fucking, like, the amount of tension I felt in some of these scenes.
Within that first 30 seconds.
You're, like, sitting there, he's staring at fucking Andrew, and you're like, no, stop. Like, you stop breathing. Dude, you're like, you feel tense.
The opening scene is playing drums, right? The guy's Miles Teller's playing drums.
He's in a practice space, just like, yeah, I'm jamming out. And then the teacher walks in, he's like, why'd you stop? Keep going.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, hey, dude, you need to keep going. And he's like, okay. And he keeps trying to drum.
And then he just, like, fucking walks out, and then he opens the door, and he's like, oh, I forgot my coat. And then leaves again. It's like,
but J.K. Simmons just fucking handles this movie.
He destroys everybody. I never thought that a movie with him just screaming at people would be so fucking good.
It's more than just like the screaming. It's just the eye stare. The eye stares,
glare.
The glare. It's just the way he moves and the way he
controls the room. That vein on his fucking head, like popping out. I was
yes,
like,
sir.
Fuck.
Exactly. It's just in every scene. He owns it, and then until the end, which Miles Teller flips around and owns that scene.
So Miles Teller in this film, the only film I've seen him in was Fantastic, which Fantastic Four from 2016. We don't call it
the Science Project.
It doesn't matter. He basically the amount of effort that his character puts in is fucking insane. Like, I could not get slapped by a teacher and then be like, all right, I'm gonna do better. Like, I'd be like, fuck this, I'm out, peace, bitch.
No, I mean, there's so much I could go into this film from just the very, I don't know, from the relationships he was trying to have that he kind of like disregarded because he didn't think he'd be able to focus on them, which I think was very. It sounds fucked up in the moment.
It's a mature
but
thing.
It's mature. That's what I'm saying.
But it's also like, ouch.
I know. I mean, but like, he's blunt and honest.
That's fucking savage. She's like sits there and looks at her and is like, yeah, I can't focus on you in jazz. I would choose jazz before you.
I don't know. There's just so much. Honestly, the more I sit with this film, the more I like it. And honestly, I just started listening to some music right after this, and I just like all I could picture is J.K. Simmons looking at me.
He's like, "Not my tempo." You're like, "I don't know what's up tempo."
Have you ever pushed yourself so hard playing music that your hands bleed while trying to do drums? No,
dude. That fucking scene where he like sits there and looks at the other two drummers and is like, "You're gonna clean the blood off my drum set." I was like, fuck, man. Like,
well, he didn't say that. J.K. Simmons said...
No, he says... No, he tells them, like, J.K. Simmons' characters looks at the other two, like, people and goes, like, right. You're going to clean the drum off my drum set.
He's like, you guys clean the blood off the drum set after Miles Teller basically just obliterates the drum set.
Yeah, this whole film has such a focus on blood on white, and I love it. Like, you see, like, the blood on the drums, and you're just like, shit! And it's not like the little, like, oh, look, it's so colorful. Yeah. It's, like, such a bright red. No, it's like fucking guttural blood.
No, it's like, yeah, he's bleeding. You can see him putting Band-Aids over his hands constantly, and... Just like he's trying so hard.
Close-ups of the blood seeping through the Band-Aid, and like,
you think he gives up, but then he doesn't, and then there's a few twists in there.
We're not gonna spoil the ending because this movie's so worth watching.
No, exactly. I'm not gonna. Yeah, but exactly. There's so many like twists. How does a movie with J.K. Simmons yelling at people about a drumming
in one fucking room essentially? This movie essentially takes place in one fucking room. It has a couple things, but like
but
the whole thing takes place in that practice space, like that fucking classroom. And he's just in there. He's like, "Are you gonna fucking do what I want you to fucking do?" You're just like, "I'm sorry."
I would say probably like 60% of the movie's in there. There's a good chunk of it that's not, because there's some scenes where he's going out on dates and one date.
I will say when he went to the theater, there's just a fun fact. He was watching Rafifi, and I watched that this week too, and I was like, "Ha ha!"
That's why usually in the movies they're watching a lot of older movies that nobody's ever heard of. I mean, sorry, like I would never have heard of it, and you're like, "Hey, I watched that."
You're like, "What the fuck is Rafifi?" I was like, "I watched that 4 days ago."
You're like, "It's Rafifi." Of course, you don't know what Rafifi is.
You're like, "Why, Bryce?" I'm like, "Because I have no life."
My thing, I have no idea how Birdman went above this, but this is phenomenal.
This makes Birdman look like shit, which we covered in a few episodes ago. Like we talked about Birdman. And like we were both like, it's good. This film's fucking phenomenal.
I might even put this on like a regular watch schedule. Like not a schedule. Dude, I actually watch this regularly.
There was times where I was watching this and like I felt so tense. I had to be like, oh shit, I'm not breathing. Hold up.
No, I know exactly. Like from drumming, dude. From drumming in one guy and J.K. Simmons and Miles Teller in this film are just phenomenal playing off each other.
I'm so surprised this was made by the guy who made La La Land.
Right, he made La La Land and this exactly, but he hasn't made much more than that.
He made First Man, which I've heard is good, but not as good. Like it's not held on a pedestal like Whiplash.
Was it his first film?
I think Whiplash was his first film.
Really? Wow.
Like his first big film. Like he had short films and shit, of course.
Well, sure.
But, like his first big film was Whiplash.
Wow.
And then he made La La Land, both of which were nominated for Best Picture. First Man, which was not nominated for Best Picture, which is his first non-nominated, which that's neat.
Well, and then he has a movie that though. First Man.
It has Neil Armstrong. It came out last year.
Oh, you know what? Okay, never mind. That's why I didn't watch it. It's a space movie.
Yeah, I don't like space films either. But no, he has a movie coming out next year called Babylon, which is about the transition. Okay, this one's going to be nominated for Best Picture for sure, just because of its synopsis. It's about people transitioning from silent films to sound films. Which I'm a sucker for that shit because I love silent films. So I'm like, let's fucking go. And I shouldn't be this excited for it because I'm like, I've already seen it done like 6 times.
Well,
like, whatever, but I'm like,
La La Land, after seeing La La Land, Whiplash, and then the concept that you really can get behind, yeah, you're excited for it.
I'm like, this director's fucking great. Like, I'm sure if I watched First Man, I would love it. Not to the level of this because these are more stories I like La La Land and Whiplash. Like I like these stories. First Man is more like a documentary style, like I guess, because it's about Neil Armstrong, First Man on the Moon. Like I'm not sure I'd held it to such a high regard, but I have so much faith in this director. I'm like, I'd probably enjoy it.
Right, exactly.
It's probably a 3.5-star movie. I'd probably give it that right now without even watching it.
Smart.
I don't think it's a 4, but I think 3.5 is where I'd probably put it.
Oh my god, you just already put it in your
already because this is just director. He has that acclaim.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, you can always set expectations as long as you drop them at the door.
Well, yeah, I'll watch it and I'll be like, I hate space. Like 2 stars.
2 stars. So the one thing I do take out of this though, the biggest thing I take out of this is, I mean, I should have already known this, but J.K. Simmons, whatever the fuck he's in, I'm there. Like after this, most of my thing had to come from Spider-Man. Honestly, I don't even know if I've watched much else with him in it.
I actually can't remember what else he's in right out of my bat. I know Spider-Man, and that's it. Like, I'm like, yeah, I know he's in that. I don't know what the fuck else. I can check though. Let me see.
But yeah, I mean, and then Miles Teller, I've seen him in.
He's in La La Land, which makes sense.
Yeah, I've seen him in Miles Teller in Chronicle. I'm pretty sure he was in Chronicle. And then he was also in a comedy movie, which was pretty good.
He was in He was Gordon, Commissioner Gordon.
Right, Commissioner Gordon, obviously, yeah.
He was in Juno.
Right.
Kung Fu Panda 3, but
I mean, they're not counting.
I've seen The Accountant.
But yeah, so he's been in quite. I mean, obviously J.K. Simmons, but this is really the first full thing that I've seen him as an actor, and I'm just like,
oh, he was in 21 Bridges.
Cool.
I haven't seen that yet. I need to.
I have, but I don't remember. Him in it, so I guess he wasn't that great in it.
Oh, he's gonna be in Let There Be Carnage. What? He's probably gonna be J. Jonah Jameson. They're probably just expecting it. It's probably just a rumor. But no, this movie's fucking guttural. I love this. Like, I stand by my review on Letterboxd. Who would have thought that an hour and a half of fucking J.K. Simmons screaming at someone would be so fucking good?
I agree, exactly. And not like you want to punch him either. Like, it's one of those things where I hate him. Well, it's weird because I hate him, but I don't at the same time.
You're like, I get what he thinks he's doing. So
because at first, he seems like a straight jackass, and then it gets to a point where he realizes what he's doing, and then he becomes a jackass even more. But then he becomes not a jackass because of Miles Teller. And I'm like, wow, this is the way this is layered is really good. I just like the fact that he's just he knows he's fucked up, but he's also in his mind. But he believes in it. Yeah, in his mind, he's like, this is the way this should happen. Right. And everyone's I respect that. Fucked, bro. And he's like, no, this is the way. Oh my god, he pulls out a Mandalorian. This is the way.
How else are you going to be a great musician? And I have to scream at you and beat you.
I mean, that's basically what he says, but in a much more sophisticated way that makes sense. So, watch it.
Dude, okay, so I'm sure everyone's seen that famous clip of him being not on my tempo, because I saw that before I watched this.
I've never seen it. So I've never seen anything.
He hurls a fucking chair across the classroom.
Yeah, I mean, that's the littlest thing he does.
He's like, do you know why I fucking threw that chair at you? And it's like, no! Who the fuck does that?
Exactly.
Can you imagine being in high school or whatever, just chill, and then your teacher throws a fucking chair across the classroom. He's like, "Fuck you!" You're like, "What the fuck?"
We should mention it wasn't it was in high school or something. It was pristine,
a conservatory, actual music academy.
Kind of shit. Exactly. They went to school for a music. It was the best one in the country. And that's
it's like a college.
Exactly.
But it's the fact that a teacher throws a fucking chair and all the students in the classroom just go, "Yeah, this is normal."
Makes sense.
But also, did you notice the amount of emphasis he put on drums versus everybody?
Well, that's because the drums was the main character. That's why it was like that.
I would have liked to. I don't know. I feel like I would have liked to see him go on a little bit more on other students other than the ones we got. To me, it seemed like I get it.
I don't know. I get your point.
You're focusing on Andrew, not the other random kids in this class.
Yeah, no, I get your point, but at the same time, I was the movie is based on Miles Teller, not the rest of the kids.
Yeah, I know. That's I get that, but I just feel because a big part of this movie is him being abusive. It would have been nice to see him be abusive to other students, not just Miles, because it kind of feels almost like he's just picking on him.
He was to more other drummers, but not the same. Well, and he was to some of the other characters too.
But you only saw a handful. I would have liked more detail on that. I would have liked to see maybe 10 extra minutes of the film with him just yelling at other students in the class, just saying how he's not just brutal to drums or whatever, he's brutal to everybody.
Right. I mean, I guess I got that point across, but
I know. I don't know. I would have liked to see it. I think it would have added more for me.
Okay.
But it's already a 4-star movie for me, so it wouldn't have added that much more.
Yeah, it was a 4-star movie, but the more it sat with me, I think it's a 4.5 actually. So
the movie's good, man. I'm so happy I picked that. Look, I picked a good one.
Yeah, for once.
Oh, get ready for silent films.
Great. So, speaking of announcing the next Filmverse feature, I got to choose the next one for this week. So, I chose, it's an animated film, The Road to El Dorado. Which is in the R's. Which is in the E's, not the R's.
I was trying to have a serious face, but all I can think about was like, really, Mytchel? I chose Whiplash, and then you go to Road of El Dorado.
Well, okay, here's the thing. I forgot to choose one before we started, and I was trying to remember what you hadn't seen and I had seen. And I know and I was like, okay, that was one you hadn't seen since we were kids, so that one technically counts. I'm
actually excited, though, because I've been wanting to watch it.
But The Road to El Dorado is really good. I know it's really different from what we just watched, but The Road to El Dorado is really good.
It's like, serious Pex Picture nominee, Road to El Dorado.
I want to watch...
okay. Our viewers are going to go down as soon as we say we hate David Fincher's Mank. Everyone's going to be like, fuck this podcast.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't mind at all. But yeah, so Road to El Dorado, which is, that cartoon movie from the
I'm really excited, because I remember being a kid, and I used to love this movie.
Exactly.
Once again, I haven't seen it since I was a kid, probably since I was 7.
Oh wow, so it's been a minute, yeah.
It's been a minute, yeah.
It's been a minute for me too. Not like a huge. I don't know how long it's been. It's probably been a good 5-6 years. So.
I had a toy from this movie, like the guy in the blue shirt.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it since I was 7. I don't remember
fucking names. Either.
But I had a toy of the guy in the blue shirt, and I buried him in one of the apartments we lived at, and I never got him back. It's probably still there.
Jeez. Well,
can you imagine that's pretty fucked? They're planning shit, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
It's a time capsule, pretty much.
It's like, why is there a toy in this dirt pile?
Well, thank you guys for joining us as we heralded the nigh of theaters, shared our thoughts on the Season 2, Episode 6 of The Mandalorian, plunged deep into the filmverse with John Q, Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, Mank, and drank from the well of infinite cinematic pleasure while watching 12 Years a Slave and Whiplash.
We don't talk about... Oh, you did talk about Mank. I was going to we don't talk about Mank.
We did talk about Mank. New episodes come out every Friday, so be sure to follow us and turn on notifications to get updates every time we post. If you want to keep up with our activities outside the airwaves, you can stalk us on Instagram at Into the Filmverse Podcast. If you have a fancy for fallacious fun and need a Criterion buddy, find my best bud Bryce Payne at...
Letterboxd at Payne Reviews, Payne Reviews. Instagram at Sanguine Director, Sanguine Director. And at Twitter at Sanguine Films. I'm going to be using that more because, I realize I keep getting updates from people, and I'm like, oh yeah, I have that.
And if you have a lust for all things literary, you can find me, Mytchel Chandler, on Facebook and Instagram at author Mytchel Chandler, Twitter at Mytchel Chandler, Letterboxd at Mytch Reviews, and Mytchel is spelled with a Y, so it's Mytch. Well, that's all for this week, our fellow cinephiles. And until next time,
Excelsior!